those who could not find the solution, listen very carefully now. What is the differential equation? Differential equation is d. What is differential equation? I hope that differential equation there should not be any problem. What is that? dVOT by dt plus VOT is equal to dVT by dt, right? Is it okay? Now, what is the type of the solution? Here input is cosine, so its differential has to be a sinusoid again. A sinusoid has to be when a sinusoid is sum of two signals, those also must be of the sinusoids of same frequency. अच्छा लगा? डिफरन्शियल इक्वेशन सोडवताना कॉमन सेन्स वापरून सोडवायला लागतं. क्लासिकल मध्ये डिफरन्शियल इक्वेशनचाच मी एकदम तज्ञ असं म्हणतो तर खूप वेळ लागतो, तेवढं आपल्याला याची गरज नाही आता. Since input is a sinusoid, everything in the circuit will be a sinusoid. When I say sinusoid, frequency is given omega, so a sinusoid of omega can be represented by a b cos omega t plus a sin omega t, or c sin omega t plus phi. Either way, both ways you can are permissible. So we state that now let VO output has to be a sinusoid. So now don't discuss, listen carefully. Everybody has to get a solution. That is b cos omega t plus a sin omega t. What is dVOT by dt? Minus omega b sin omega t plus omega a cos omega t. Now there is a small difference in the problem which we have right now than the last time problem. In the last time problem it was V in t on the other side. Now it is dV in t by dt. So we have to calculate that. What is dV in t by dt? That is again very simple. dV in t by dt is minus omega sin omega. So finally what we get by putting left hand side and right hand side together, we get as dVOT by dt plus VOT is equal to this. So when we put these two plus, what we can do? We club cosine terms, we club sine terms, right? So when we club cosine terms, what those are? Omega A plus B cos omega t, right? Plus sine terms we combine. Sine terms are A minus omega t, right? So sine is plus A minus omega b sin omega t is equal to what? Minus omega sin omega t. So very simple. When we are having expressions of sinusoid on both parts in terms of sine and cos, for the equations to be equal, sine part should be equal, cosine part should be equal, coefficients, right? So what should be equal? There is no cosine term, so this must be 0, right? Is it okay? And this must be minus 2. So you should get answer straight away. What is the answer then? Omega A plus B equal to 0, equation 1. Now what is the second equation? A minus omega B equal to omega. So based on that, what is A and B? What is A and B based on that? Now what you do? Multiply this equation by omega, right? So multiplying 1 by omega, you will get omega square A plus omega B equal to 0. So in the second there is a minus omega, right? Then add these two. So when we add these two, what we get? 1 plus omega square A is equal to, right? 1 plus omega square A is equal to minus omega. Is okay? Then what is B? So what is A? Based on that, A is equal to minus omega upon 1 plus omega square. What is B? What is B? It is 1 upon 1 plus omega square, right? B is 1 upon 1 plus omega square. So what is the answer? 1 upon plus omega square cos omega t plus, or final answer is 1 upon, or we can take 1 upon omega square outside into bracket 1, that is cos omega t minus omega. Is it right? Is it okay? So it's a final expression for VOT. He has raised some questions last time about this initial condition. For some time we defer them so as we can move much ahead. Is there any problem here right now? No problem. Right? By this way we get the behavior of RC circuits or RL circuits for sinusoidal input. So what will happen now? Now what will happen? We can put it together. So what we get? 1 upon 1 plus omega square into bracket cos and sine. What it is? It is under root 1 plus omega square into, you can say, either cos of or sine of omega t plus phi. That phi depends upon tan inverse of something. Right now that is not so important. So this 1 upon under 1 upon omega, 1 plus omega square, and this. So what we get? 1 upon, now so phase you ignore. अरे बोल मैं बोला क्या कर रहा है? Look here. Phase we ignore for some time. Just focus on this. So what is happening now? Here there is a reverse phenomenon. Last time क्या होता? Last time reverse है क्या same है? Is it same or as omega increases, what will happen? As omega increases, denominator will decrease or increase. I think some mistake has taken place somewhere. Can you look at that?
Cos has become sin, sin has become cos.
No. Somewhere mistake is there. Somewhere mistake is there. This is high pass filter. So for lower frequency we get less gain. For higher frequency we get more gain. Anybody point of mistake? काहीतरी एक चूक झाली कुठेतरी. have to start from here. We have to check where we have gone wrong. In some calculation we might have gone wrong. So omega A plus B that is equal to 0 is all right. Right. And so I think everything was right. Only thing is that B, for those who might not get it immediately, omega A plus B equal to 0 and A minus omega B equal to minus omega. So from there what we have got? We have got A as A कितनी होता है? What was A? A was minus omega. Right? I mean, A was this, no? And B? So when we put this here, so we get B as omega square upon, right? Is it okay? Correct? Put A here, that omega into minus omega upon plus omega square, that omega square upon plus minus omega square upon plus omega square. B that goes on the other side. So B is, B is omega square upon plus omega square. So now what we get? Now the answer is VOT is equal to B, that is omega square upon 1 plus omega square cos omega t minus omega upon is it right? So taking 1 upon 1 plus omega square outside, what we get? Or you can take omega outside. So what we get? Omega. See how a single time has made a change. Is it right? Now what have we taken? Omega upon 1 plus omega square common. Omega and this. So what is this now? Omega upon 1 plus omega square into bracket under root 1 plus omega square cosine of omega t plus phi. Right now phase we don't bother, but amplitude now. So this becomes, what this becomes? What is amplitude? That you discussed that wrong. What we get here? Omega upon under root 1 plus omega square. Amplitude, that is the output VOT, will be a sinusoid of frequency omega whose amplitude would be omega upon 1 plus omega square. So can you tell me what happens when frequency increases? Now last time it was 1 upon under root 1 plus omega square for low pass filter. So easily you would have said that as omega increases, denominator will increase and overall value will decrease. But now there is some confusion. So how will you find this out? By dividing omega on numerator and denominator. So what we get? We get this as 1 upon under root 1 plus 1 upon omega square. Is it right? 1 up, that is C, we can say C is equal to. So output is C cos omega t plus pi. So we are focusing on C. C is now frequency dependent. C is frequency dependent and C is equal to 1 upon 1 upon under root 1 plus 1 upon omega square. So less omega, what will happen? Less omega, this would be less. Or more. Less omega, this is constant, this is less omega, this part. Less omega, this part is more. So this part is more, denominator is more. So overall, less. More omega. That circle part is less. Right. So C will be less for less omega, C will be more for more omega. This is called as high pass filter. Right now what we are doing? Right now I am bombarding with you with various themes. What those are, you get it after some time. So after continuing, we proceed further. We are taking value as 1. Actually, later on values will be also other than 1. So when values are 1, calculation becomes simpler. Find out the expression of VOT for the given circuit if input is cos omega t. We can put a pause.